The thing that set this particular 2-day trip, or this 2-day off-road trip of mine in Portugal, was the fact that I used a road book to navigate my way round the trails. Now, I do not try and mask and hide the fact that, to begin with at least, it was very, very difficult. You're trying to ride the bike, you're trying to make reference to this thing, and it just becomes so frustrating and impossible to absorb. It's like you can't do both. You could sit down and look at that all day long if you had the peace to concentrate on it, but to try and ride the bike as well makes it virtually impossible. But little by little, you learn to do it, you get it right, you get rewarded from getting it right, and somebody told me that I would actually find it an advantage and something that added to the pleasure of off-roading. And to begin with, I didn't believe them at all. But after doing it for 2 days now, we'll talk to Rui in a minute about how well he thinks I did. My impression is I got by. I learned how to do it. I made quite a few mistakes. I got lost. And maybe it's arguable that if there wasn't someone to save me, I'd still be out there now, lost. But I managed and I really enjoyed it. And I'm going to enter a rally in the UK that has the option of using a rally book. And I'm going to take that option because I think it just adds an extra level of satisfaction to the whole thing. Now, Rui, how did I do?
Brilliant, brilliant. I have to tell you that...
Do you want the money now?
Yeah, I think brilliant because you joined the navigation very good, very accurate, and also with speed. You are not...
Oof.
I think the most important and difficult thing to join here with roadbook navigation is to put speed.
Yeah.
And in your riding.
You surprised me because I thought I was having to go very, very slowly. You make a mental note of what's coming up next, whether there's a hazard. You can scroll the road book via this.
It's not scrolling, but if you put the bike on, you have here the switch and the road book scroll. You only have to scroll the road book and you have all the mechanical work of rewind and forward of the paper here in the switch. Here, I will turn off here.
I mean,
To be easier, here you have the trip that you can put the kilometers up and down. Here, you don't have to leave your handlebar. You do everything here.
But whilst it's very easy for the theory to be understood,
Yeah.
you get a reference there as to how many kilometres you are at before you get to this point of change direction, and you match it to whatever's on the. I call it a mileometer. You call it an ICO.
ICO,
Okay.
yeah, it's.
You match the two. You basically look at that and you say at 100.5 kilometres, I will come to this intersection here and I'll need to turn left. Trying to do that in reality while trying to stay on the bike, go over a load of bumps or go fast is very difficult. You suddenly realise that the guys doing rally who have to navigate, the Dakar boys particularly, are just so much more heroic than you'd previously thought.
Yeah.
Simply because that is such a difficult
You see
discipline.
the idea.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It's like off-roading on top of off-roading almost,
Of course.
isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
So, but it was worth doing because it does, as I've said, add an extra sort of dimension of enjoyment to the whole
Yeah,
thing.
I think so. You have more freedom. You ride the speed that you want, and I think it's a goal to reach to the end. We here have the road book. We arrived to the end point that was the hotel, and it's like an achievement.
Oh, massive sense of achievement, to get to various points and not to go wrong. I mean, I hasten to add, I did take quite a few wrong turnings. It's so easy to miss a waypoint, isn't it, and just go beyond it.
Yeah.
And there's a certain procedure to adopt as well. When you get it wrong,
course.
you've got to backtrack, get to the point where
The first thing that you have to feel is that you are wrong.
Yes.
The next note that you saw it's a wrong note.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And you see a note that doesn't exist, you have to come back
Yes.
immediately
Yeah.
to save kilometers and save time. And if you do that, you are always doing the safe way.
But it really does require quite a bit of discipline, as you say.
Yeah.
If you you realise you're wrong, accept it for a fact, backtrack,
Yeah.
get it right.
But you saw, Chris, that you were in the first day, yesterday, Saturday, you start 20 kilometers after, you struggle a little bit with the road book, trying to find the pace, not easy to watch all these things, but I don't know if I'm wrong, but with more 20 or 30 kilometers, you were riding by yourself, brilliant speed, and not
it's
doing
certainly-
mistakes.
Yeah, it improves with experience, isn't it?
Yeah,
Doesn't
yeah.
it? But I still think it would take quite some time
Yeah. Yeah, of
before I
course.
felt very comfortable with it, and before it became automatic, and I did things quite instinctively. You know?
Yeah, to ride with the same speed that you ride without road book, yeah, you have to have a lot of experience. You know that we have some small things that we usually do to ride fast here. The first thing is that to put the next note always in the top of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
road
yeah,
book,
yeah.
because your eyes are
Yeah,
high,
yeah.
and you see the first note here, and you know that is the next one.
Uh-huh.
When you pass that note here, you put scroll and put to another one. The other thing,
But it's funny, this is a classic
Yeah.
scenario. You say, oh, put that there, and when you've passed it, just scroll that.
yeah,
But when you're trying to ride the bike as well,
Yeah.
I mean, off-roading is difficult enough
Yeah.
as it is.
Yeah.
But then to pay attention to that and
and
to,
I say you one more tip that
Go on.
I don't look at the road book to change the note. I count more or less 1 second here,
okay,
and
yeah.
I'm riding, look at the track, and I do like this. Zzz, and I
okay,
know
yeah,
that is
yeah.
in the next note.
right,
Okay?
I'm not surprised that there are a lot of things to learn
Yeah.
to perfect this and get it right.
Yeah. Another thing that usually the rider, the amateur rider, doesn't do is to look the partial kilometers.
that-
You
that-
only look the big numbers.
Yeah.
The small number is very important because it's not to be very
Precise?
precise.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's only to get an idea
Yeah.
if the next note is far, far away
Yeah, yeah.
or very close to the
Yeah. Yeah.
actual note.
I did make that mistake today. If I'd looked at the increment and realised that it was just 200 metres
Yeah.
after the last
You have
one,
to watch out.
I knew it was soon. I would have. You've got to match the instructions and the guide there, the map,
Yeah.
the road book, with the reality.
Yeah.
And if you can do that, then it does fall into place, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Can I just complain about one thing?
Yeah, of course.
You didn't have enough pubs marked on the road book. None of them are marked on the road book.
It's
You should hold your head, hang your head in shame, sir.
It's too many things.
That's a central thing to make note of.
But I have ensure you that in the final of this road book, you have everything in the hotel.
Okay. Is there a pub in there? Is there alcohol to be served?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Road books. Fantastic things.
So it's
They show
tank-
you where the booze is. And you can't complain about that.